To nobody's surprise, Mission Yozakura Family is the main adaptation I'm looking forward to this year. This will be Studio Silverlink's first ever dedicated weekly Shonen Jump anime adaptation, which to be fair can be alarming to some. Silverlink isn't quite known for their action anime adaptations, with a small few series sticking out, and looking at their overall catalog dating back to their 2009 debut with Tayutama Keso My Deity, it's understandable as to why so many worry about the adaptation. With it being just a mere few weeks away from the debut, today I thought I'd take some time and discuss all the material and information we know and talk about expectations, as things may look a lot more promising than you may realize. Of course, this is going to be a blend of my personal opinion and public information from the staff and prominent sources as well, so feel free to ask any questions in the comments if you'd like any further elaboration or confirmation. So to kick this off, it's important to first discuss the staff, which is all public information available on the Crunchyroll article about the series, as well as on any database such as Mal. Color design will be handled by Manami Yamaguchi, notably working on Fate Prisma Ilia with digital paint, and at the top, the color designer for Chivalry of a Failed Knight, which I'm sure is the main series that people can recall off the top of their head, so if the color choices suited your taste, then you'll be looking to be set. Character design and chief animation director will both be helmed by Mizuki Takahashi, two crucial aspects among others that are being helmed by someone with quite the resume behind them. Takahashi was the character designer of Mushoku Tensei Season 1 Part 2. As far as key animation and direction, they have a wide range of work. Classroom of the Elite, Prison School, 91 Days, Call of the Night's Ending Sequence, Railgun T, and the list goes on and on. When the initial key visual had came out, there were some concerns as to how they might look in the anime, but upon looking at their character sheets as well as the trailer as well, I'm not worried about the designs at all. As I mentioned in my artistic evolution video, with early Gondaira art, you can clearly see that they were coming into the designs that they want for the long term. There was a very quick evolution, and I think that these designs are taking the long-term and quick evolution in consideration. Moving on, Atsushi Sato will be the director of photography. If you are not aware of what this role entails, they work close with the director to ensure aspects such as framing, lighting, and everything in between come out as needed with the adaptation. Atsushi has been in charge of this same position for series such as Excel World, the entirety of Bofuri so far, and Ragna Crimson. Out of all of these, I do enjoy Bofuri quite a lot and have never had the feeling that things looked off in the parameters entailed, so I'll be given the benefit of the doubt that this area will be handled accordingly as well. Music for the series will be by Osamu Sasaki, who hasn't worked on too much anime, with the first being The Great Jaya Will Not Be Defeated. He will also be joined by Koji Fujimoto, who is also in a similar position in terms of small work history but could have hidden potential. This is one of those cases where we're just going to have to wait and see, as I don't think it's fair to fully judge their capabilities quite yet. From the OSTs that were in the trailer, it seems that the family-related music will be pretty cozy, but I'm looking forward to the action and serious moments more so, as a good OST can make or break a moment. With that being said, we'll be observing these two with great interest. Art direction will be handled by Eito Nakahara, who has a long involvement with the industry dating back to the 1980s. Now, there were some images that were put up on the official website that gave us a glimpse of the settings that we should expect, and I am for sure of the belief that the emotional and indoor scenery moments will look great. The inside of the Yozakura home looks very nice given how prominent they are as a spy group. Again, when it comes to the action moments, especially with the Kawashita raid arc in particular, I really hope the whole facility has some nice art to go along with it. It's gonna be important to ensure that the atmosphere matches the moment, and given Yozakura is an emotional series, this will be a very important aspect down the line. Editing will be handled by Yuji Kondo, who has worked on the likes of SAO Alicization, Fate Strange Fake, and the current adaptation of Solo Leveling. Need I say more? I think we'll be just fine there. Before we reach the director conversation, our sound direction will be handled by Toru Kanage. Now personally, the only works I have seen from them has been the Psycho-Pass Case 2 and Case 3 movies, however I don't think it's fairly indicative of what to expect from the anime. With that being said, the sound design for this series is going to really need to bring it. I'm not necessarily sure what to expect when it comes to the Yay debut and most importantly the Blooming debut or any big power moves, but I really hope that it's on the ball. There's a lot of unique abilities when it comes to the series, and nailing them all is going to be something to look forward to seeing. I'm curious to see how they will turn the blooming into a sound to signify a form of awakening, and if it'll be a one-time noise or will it carry on for as long as it's active. Either way, we're staying humbly optimistic to see what they'll bring to the table. Now last but not least, we have our director position, which is currently helmed by Mirai Minato, who has directed many series from Prisma Ilia, Bofuri, and the ongoing airing of Hokkaido Gals and Sasaki and Peeps. Now before I go any further, I want to emphasize that Mirai is not the only director of this series. There's supposed to be multiple directors on this anime, however however the rest of them have not been announced. This may indicate that while Mirai might be chief director, the rest might end up being chief episode directors, which allocates to splitting up the responsibilities. Considering Mirai is currently directing 2 things, this may be the case, but again, it's unclear and we'll most likely get more information over the coming weeks. With that said, I will be streaming the Mission Yozakura Family panel for Anime Japan, so if you would like to watch that live and engage, make sure to stick around or just come by. We have a good time. Now on to more in-depth details. The Mission Yozakura Family wiki account did translate the interview held with the director within the New Type magazine, which I will link in the description below. Wiki owner, if you see this video, I greatly appreciate you, and please take their translations with a grain of salt. Their article starts off with mentioning that Mirai's first impressions of the series was its strong comedic tone with the various characters and personalities contributing to the overall structure of the family. Which is true, Yozakura is a perfect blend of family and action, and the differences between everyone push the cast along quite nicely. She then goes on to say that the series seems to fit her own style as a director, and also seems to align with the strengths of Silverlink when it comes to producing anime, making it a good fit. So right off the bat, we already have some established confidence from the director. This is not to be immediately indicative of the type of quality to expect, but we can at least say that Mirai feels this is up her alley, which is a great sign before airing. Following up, when it came to the planning, she alongside Gondaira and Shueisha discussed how the bonds between the family, especially Taiyo and Mutsumi, should be the focus of the series. They will be reconstructing the series with the anime adaptation while keeping these values in mind. This right here is a really big point of interest. To have a meeting with Mirai, Gondaira present, and some Shueisha executives establishes a level of communication between the three when it comes to any changes for the adaptation. They're locking in on this, and hopefully Gondaira approves of any changes that overall helps the story flow better if it comes at the cost of something else. There were 2 ideas for how the anime could go in the planning phase, and the option chosen was the more fast-paced and upbeat approach. Mirai mentions that even manga readers are expected to be surprised by what is shown in the anime adaptation. So yes, expect some level of changes. I know that when anime fans hear the word change when it comes to adaptations, there tends to be a visceral reaction, but change can be a good thing if done right. Whether certain character introductions are much quicker or even original content is added, there will be some surprises in store. I'll be making sure to watch the anime on one screen with the manga alongside it to point out those changes when it comes to the episode reviews. Concerning Gondaira's input, they insisted that the anime should be an enjoyable experience for the readers. As a result, the anime will make sure readers don't feel too down in serious scenes, injecting more comedy and character moments to not make the story feel so heavy and have sad moments linger. Now this right here I'll be taking with a grain of salt. Yozakura Family doesn't have an overwhelming amount of sad scenes compared to something like JJK, but when it does, it tends to hit quite nicely. I hope they don't take away from that too much because Taiyo's story is very moving. Minato mentions that they could have been able to make a single course season of the anime based on the first 3 volumes alone, but considering the amount of manga available to them, they instead opted to focus on the wider narrative of the series with the anime adaptation. So to give you an example, MHA Season 1 ended in the Volume 3 range with a 12 episode count, and JJK Season 1 ended around Volume 8. Where they choose to end the season and the episode count is anyone's guess, but I would like to imagine it'd be in the developing moments towards Kawashita. Minato then goes on to say that she acknowledges how the series becomes more action focused as it continues, and notes how abilities being activated becomes more prominent. So as they reach those parts, the series will adopt more visual changes to match them. I cannot wait to see what they do with this. All the bloomings in the first Frontlines mission is huge in terms of fights and debuts, and no doubt as the series' first act closer, they really gotta nail it down, especially with the scale of the story only improving to bigger stakes after. Despite wanting to change the visuals to match the action and abilities, she notes that she doesn't want them to become too flashy and have the visuals overshadow the characters, so they're currently trying to find the balance between the two, which I'm all on board for. Yozakura does not need to move like Demon Slayer. Not all of the abilities are flashy anyhow, and I hope that the balance is found without pulling away from the potential of these moments. As for a quick note from the character designer Mizuki Takahashi, for the series, she began drawing her character designs freely and were quickly approved by Gondaira. Thanks to her being very familiar with the original work, the designs came out beautifully, which you can tell. The way the early series art has translated into the anime is really nice, and I especially enjoy seeing Futaba so far. Furthermore, considering how great the character designs turned out, they focused on matching the series visuals to the character's look, making sure they fit well together. The voice cast is mentioned to mirror the Yozakura family, with Reiji Kawashima matching Taiyo as being the newbie around the more experienced family as they all help and support him. He also grows as a voice actor throughout each recording. Recording has been very fun for the cast, which I'm glad to hear. The more the VAs get into the family shenanigans dynamic, the better those emotional and comedic moments will come off in the anime. I'm looking forward to everyone's performance, especially when it comes down to the crucial moments. Going back to Minato, she mentions how her directing style is more focused on making decisions up front rather than making adjustments as the series production goes on. However, the internal and external staff have gone above and beyond with their work, doing more than she asked for. All green flags in my book. It really sounds like they understand the importance of this adaptation given it's their first Weekly Shonen Jump one, and they really want to come out swinging as hard as they can. I can only hope that production stays healthy, as we have all seen over multiple shonen series how taxing things can become over time. As a result, Minato has been directing this series in a more unusual way than she normally would by making more bold requests when it comes to directing the series. The goal so the anime will be more visually interesting than normal. I'm all for the ambition, try something new, show me and the community how much you really care about this series through elevation of the source material. To bring the interview to a close, Minato insists that people should read the original manga, with its depth and story being enough to get people hooked on the series and more excited for the anime. She hopes people will already be thinking about what the visuals of each scene will be in the anime. The staff at the studio are focused on turning this anime project into a series that will be worked on till its completion, and hopes for everyone to support the anime once it releases. And there we have it. Overall, a lot to look forward to come this adaptation from the current sound of things, and we should expect some surprises here and there. As for setting expectations outright, I want to give Silverlink the benefit of the doubt that this is going to be a nice investment for them. If there's one thing I continue to believe in when it comes to this industry, it's that anything is possible. We have seen some of the best and unprecedented adaptations for all sorts of series over the past 5 years, and there's no reason to immediately walk into this with a cynical attitude until we see what we're working with. The Yozakura staff clearly care about the assignment they are presented with, and only time will tell whether or not they truly get it. It's my hope that with the whole theme of cherry blossoms, that the springtime will be a huge boost for the series in terms of reception. Pretty genius marketing if you ask me, and with the idea that the anime will be a full adaptation, I hope it sells well enough to keep them working on it for years to come. And with that brings me to the end of this video. As always, thank you for watching, and make sure to leave all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you all in the next video.